Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and today I'm talking about cooking. I love cooking. However, I am not a learned cook. So, let's get into it. You've seen some of my food videos. You know I like to eat some weird shit. But here's the thing. A couple of things I want to point out. One, nobody taught my mom how to cook. She's self-taught, meaning she just bought a cookbook and threw a bunch of shit in the pot. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but she never had any preparation. She had no knowledge of how to cook. No, her mom didn't teach her. Her girlfriends didn't teach her. She never learned how to cook. She just did it because, she had kids and had to feed us. So she did not teach me how to cook. There were never any, or my sisters. She didn't teach any of us how to cook. And when we have cooking questions, we do not call my mom to ask her cooking questions. No offense, mom. Love you to death, but we all know you are not a chef. Now, she occasionally pulled it together and made some good food. Don't get me wrong, she did. But she also made a lot of stuff that I was like, can I give this to the dog? We don't have a dog. Can we get a dog so I have something to give this to? Yeah, she did that a lot. Um, so how did I learn how to cook? Well, basically the same way. I took home ec in high school. But I took home ec in high school because I just wanted to take a nap. And I wanted to take a class where I knew the teacher wasn't going to get on to me if I took a nap. So, did I learn how to cook in home ec? No. I didn't do shit in home ec. I just showed up, took a nap, went on to my next class, moved on with my life. So I didn't even learn how to cook at home ec. Now, what did I do? Well, I got a job working at Pizza Hut. And so I learned how to take a prefabricated piece of cardboard that they're calling dough, but it isn't. It's cardboard. And I learned how to sprinkle a bunch of shit on it, throw it in the oven, pull it out, dice it up, stick it in another box of cardboard, deliver it to people's houses, and make money. So I learned how to cook pizza, which, you know, is Pizza Hut food? No, it is not. It is cardboard. Is it good? I mean, it's greasy cardboard. So it's tasty, but it's still cardboard. Then let's just say my time at Pizza Hut came to an end, and in my quest for a new job, I went through a couple of not fun jobs, and then I decided let's give Domino's a try because it's the same thing. Now, like Pizza Hut, Domino's also sells cardboard and markets it as pizza. The difference is Domino's makes their dough in-house instead of getting cardboard in a frozen cardboard in a box from the wherever cardboard comes from. They make it in-house and then they do the same thing. They sprinkle a bunch of shit on it, throw it in the oven, repeat. Then I went to work for a Little Caesars, same thing. It's still cardboard. And I went to go work for Papa John's. It's the same fucking thing. So basically, no, I did not learn how to cook. But because my name tag said cook on it, um, I applied for a job at McDonald's, thinking I can cook. If I can cook pizza, and I'm using air quotes, pizza, then I can cook cheeseburgers because how hard can it be? Well, McDonald's said no. We're not giving you only cook pizza. That's not the same thing. That's not cooking. So they said no. So I tried a couple other restaurants. Same thing. No, that's not cooking. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. So eventually I ended up getting an apartment of my own. And well, I had roommates, but I had my own apartment. Basically not living with my parents is what I'm trying to say. So I didn't make enough money to eat the cardboard from Pizza Hut every day, even though I worked at Pizza Hut. I could get one free meal a day, but one piece of cardboard a day is not enough to sustain a person. So I figured, fuck it. I can't afford McDonald's. I can't afford Denny's. Let's go to the grocery store, buy a bunch of shit, and see what happens. So I taught myself how to cook. I'm 41 years old. I'm still learning how to cook. So cooking is not my strong suit. But here's my method. I do basically what my mom did. I take the skillet, I fill it with, vegetable oil or cooking spray, depending on what I'm going to throw in it. Turn it up to medium plus heat, um, medium high. Get it good and warm, and then I just start throwing shit in the skillet. Sometimes it's eggs, sometimes it's hamburger, sometimes it's vegetables, sometimes it's cans of tuna or hamburger helper or fucking, fish sticks or whatever. I basically just throw a bunch of shit in the skillet, stir it up, cook it until it looks brown, sprinkle a bunch of shit on it, sometimes salt and pepper, sometimes seasoning salt, sometimes other seasonings, depending on, when I'm experimental. Throw it on a plate or scoop it up into a bowl, grab a fork, down down it in ketchup, and cross my fingers. Sometimes I get a bowl of food I can eat. Sometimes I get a bowl of food that my cat won't eat. So it's hit or miss. Every once in a while, I learn, oh, these two things don't mix. So I learn not to do that again. Eventually, through watching YouTube videos, a friend of mine who was a good cook teaching me a couple of things, and just trial and error, I eventually learned how to cook a few things. So I can cook an omelet. I can cook pancakes, although my pancakes are usually black on top and mushy dough in the middle. Don't ask me how this happens, I don't know. I can cook bacon, but my bacon is always black. I'm good with that. I like black bacon. It's crispy, crunchy, extra crispy. I'm good with it. Um, I can follow the instructions and cook a box of hamburger helper. That one's not too difficult. And I can cook spaghetti or meatloaf or casserole. And that's where my ability to cook ends. Basically, it's just let's throw everything in the skillet and see what turns up. See what happens. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. I am not a cook. Now, I'm not a picky eater. I'll eat charcoal. I'll eat, greasy cardboard. I don't care. As long as it fills my belly, I don't give a fuck. You know, my taste buds do not like this method of cooking, but my belly's fine with it, so whatever. You know, you got to prioritize. Sometimes you just got to put something in your stomach to shut it up. And sometimes you just don't have the gourmet meal you want. So, what do I like to experiment with? I love to start off with a base of ground beef. And I like to take the ground beef, dice onions, and cook the onions in the ground beef. And then I just start adding stuff. Sometimes I add shredded cheese. Sometimes I add a can of tomato sauce. Or sometimes I add a can of um, sloppy Joe mix. Sometimes I add a can of chili. Whatever. I just start adding stuff. Sometimes it's potatoes. Just whatever it takes to basically give me enough something to eat. I cannot cook noodles. I love to cook spaghetti, but I'm talking rubber in the middle, crunchy on the ends. I don't know how it happens, but it is what it is. I can do a goulash, but it turns out the same as the spaghetti. The noodles are a little crunchy. Um, I've done manicotti once. I'll never do it again because it took me 3 hours to make a pot of manicotti that I ate in 5 minutes, and I was like, that ain't worth it. I've attempted lasagna twice, and I emphasize attempted because it was not a lasagna. I don't know what it was. It was basically meat soup. It was never it. My meatloaf is very soupy, so I've never successfully done a meatloaf. A solid meatloaf. My meatloaf is basically, ground beef soup, um, with meatloaf ingredients in the bowl. So no, I am definitely not a good cook. So I don't do cooking videos because people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is she doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let's find out." Stay cool.